women just chose to delete their Instagram and listen to their fathers and learn from their mothers, or,
a lot of people,
or they become self-aware that feminism has lied to them. They start taking self-accountability, which women, for the most part, they don't want to take self-accountability because their ego is inflated, right? And they're essentially delusional towards the realities. And then they have to take the next step of unfollowing a bunch of these people that are not going to benefit them in their lives. They have to shift their focus and attention towards the things that they want. Like, what do you think would be more applicable for a general amount of people?
If you
in our generation, I feel like a lot of the women have been indoctrinated to think a particular way, and it tends to typically align with feminist ideologies, right? About woman empowerment, and all it does is just makes women masculine, and they don't fucking realize that doesn't align with their true nature. Their true nature as a woman, 90% of the times is going to be feminine. But if we indoctrinate these women to be more masculine, they're going against their own nature, therefore creating dissatisfaction within them, which creates chaos overall in a whole entire fucking society. And we know that the idea behind control is divide and conquer. So they do this shit at every fucking avenue they can, and one of the ways they fucking do it is feminism. And you can fucking take a bitch on the fucking street and try to interview her and ask her these different questions about feminism. I guarantee you at first you can sit her up and she can say, I believe in feminism, woman empowerment, this and that. But when you start to go about one layer, just half a layer, one layer deeper, she's not gonna be able to answer shit, odds are.
Facts. That's so funny. You can literally, like, if you're playing chess with them, you just need 2 moves, 2 questions.
Yeah, bro. Exactly.
And then they're done.
Exactly.
They're done. That's so funny. One of the things that I actually mentioned, or there's 2 things I was gonna say. One of the things that you were talking about, I think, is pretty much like a matriarchy. Like, feminists are trying to create a matriarchy. And if you look at, and today I was talking to him about it. If you look at a hyena pack, right, that's run by a matriarchy, and all the males in the hyena pack are like smaller and like beta males, like. And they just get run over and they're like miserable and shit. And for the most part, matriarchies don't last. So it's like feminism is trying to create something that's proven not to really last for a long time, or trying to essentially weaken men. And that's essentially what's going on in society right now. I think you're red pill aware. I'm red pill aware. I put him onto Fresh and Fit too. So yeah, there's that. And then my second statement, one of the statements I made is like, women that want to be wives or be good mothers should delete Instagram. Like, if they're under 25, they should delete Instagram. What do you think?
Well, what makes you say that particularly about women? Why not all women that are wives? Why only under 25?
No, because only specifically under 25 years, under 20. If a woman is under 25-year-old and she wants to be a wife or a good mother, she should delete her Instagram. Because in Instagram, what is she doing on Instagram? Like, let's put ourselves in this. Let's have a little bit of empathy, and let's put ourselves in the shoes of these girls, bro. They wake up every day, they open up their Instagram, they got their stories, they got a bunch of other girls telling them, oh yeah, only care about yourself, only self-love, or just pointing the finger at the guy. Fuck him, he's a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And they don't understand why they're being treated this way. Maybe because they don't know how to choose. But women are not self-aware and they're not able to take self-accountability. So how are they going to grow into the women that men want to be with, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, if they're on Instagram, what are they doing? How are they becoming better wives? There's no content that's teaching you how to be a good mother. There's no content teaching you how to be a good wife. I mean, there is, but it's not heavily promoted. There's a bunch of guys in their DMs fucking thirsting over them all day, every day, and creating this big ass ego of arrogance of, oh, I'm only gonna get with this $100,000 guy that's 6'1". I'm gonna find him. He's just gonna come to me. I don't gotta do shit. And I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, I think I feel like it's an overgeneralization there that all women are like that. There's
most
exactly.
women.
I think we should definitely be aware of like the type of woman she is. If she's a person of like respect, I follow content that promotes obviously entrepreneurship, becoming a better man. And if she's the type of woman the same way, and I know that's rare to find sometimes, but I'm just saying, like, to generalize that all women should be out of Instagram.
No, I never say all. I said specifically women that are under 25 that want to be wives or good mothers. If they fit those criterias, they should delete their Instagram. Like, if they want to get a husband, they want to be a good mother, you should probably delete Instagram. And then the first thing you should do is, if you have a good family, you should listen to your father and learn from your mother, because your father's not gonna lie to you. Your father's not the guy in your DM sliding in. Your father put food in your belly, put a roof over your head. He cares about you, so he's gonna lead you in the right direction. So you gotta listen to him and learn from your mother. There's a reason why your mother was able to keep that family or keep that relationship and raise you year after year after year, right? So it's like, you don't got to be on Instagram. You got to be off Instagram. Learn from your mother. Maybe you don't know how to cook. Maybe your mother's a great cook, but social media has convinced you, no, I don't got to fucking cook or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. It's not all women. I think most women. I think if they want to be good wives or good mothers, they should get off social media, or they should go private on their account. And if they have less than 1,000 followers, then that's probably a green light. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I would personally say that obviously no matter what situation it may be, context will always matter, right? So
Yes.
I mean,
Facts.
I think that the solution though wouldn't necessarily be women not having an Instagram. In fact, I think it goes
So
much,
too
much
extreme.
more deeper,
Too extreme.
right? You know, it's more about these women who are taught and bred to think certain ways. That's really the core issue, the core root of the problem. So really, I mean, if we're looking to solve that issue, I don't think necessarily not allowing women underneath 25 or suggesting women.
No,
under
no, not
25
allowing,
on
deleting them choosing to delete. Them choosing to delete
I see.
Instagram, not like banning them or forbidding them. No, them specifically choosing.
I get
it.
you. No, I get you. And I think too, it's the same. You can make the same argument with men too. I mean, any men under 25, they should be more focused on their purpose than seeing what other fucking people are doing on social media. Because at the end of the day, all of the people, 95% of people, all they fucking do is they consume. So they see and they judge and they fucking compare themselves to other people who are successful. Then they start living life through other people on fucking social media when they should be focusing on what the fuck they need to do to progress their own fucking lives. So I think overall, I mean, with women, I think that it really depends. I don't think that, I mean, whether you're 25 and you're male or female, or we should say, if you want to identify as a unicorn or whatever the fuck, if under 25, your main focus should be primarily on your purpose. And I think men and women could have different purposes in their own different ways. And you know, I think the main issue is whether it's a man or a woman, is that a lot of these people are degenerate. And that's when these bitches do go on Instagram, they're hoeing around because they don't have true core values. They don't fucking respect themselves. So they're going on and seeing what kind of new dick they can get on fucking online from this different attention, because they're seeking validation from other fucking people, which is not them. That's not respecting themselves. They don't respect themselves enough and know that they are worthy, so they go out and post on their story and do whatever the fuck, hit up these guys or post ass pics online so that they can get that validation, so they can feel that fake fulfillment, you know. So at the end of the day, it comes down to an issue of a core problem of them not having the right structure, the family structure, which leads to core value, the proper core values, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, I think that you said we agree with the core values things. My thing is like just Instagram ain't helping. It ain't helping in them building their core values, and that's why I specifically blame hey, if you wanna take charge of your life as a woman and you want to be a good mother, like delete your Instagram. You know, go focus on your purpose. Maybe I'll even concede. I'd be like, yo, you know what? Maybe don't delete it. Maybe unfollow all the women that you don't want to be like.
That's a good one.
And then follow the women that like the mothers, like the women that you want to, like the life that you want to live. Essentially, kind of get mentored by them. Essentially, you know, look at their stories, but don't compare yourself and because then they could become miserable by trying to compare their lives to another influencer. Like, oh, I wish I was here. I wish he brought me to Mykonos, Hawaii, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I think women become increasingly more anxious and depressed.
I think what he said was spot on too, though. It was all these ideologies from feminism that's been pushed. So there's a lot of people speaking about that super loud right now, but it's also getting a little bit louder now in the women community, standing up for, you know, becoming a mother, like how they're 30s.
And where do women get all this feminism from?
From social media,
IG, bro, Instagram. We know it's the problem.
But it's not to get out of Instagram. It's to combat that with new leaders, new ideologies coming from traditional senses, I would say. So women need to speak up more on, hey, listen, like this is not working for us. We're 30s, we're 40s, we want a man, and then, you know, all this life we have this money, and now we have nobody to share this with.
I agree.
And I've seen a lot of content recently, women siding with the guys now, like talking about what we're talking about.
All right.
And I think that's a good segue. And you see the comments, a lot of these women are like, oh my God, yeah, like I need to change, this is that. So I think it's a start of a new era. You know, Andrew Tate opened up that dialogue for sure. And now we need new leaders, new women to teach, you know, more traditional senses.
But what do you think is more simple and applicable to the majority of people? If the women just chose to delete their Instagram and listen to their fathers and learn from their mothers,
a lot of people,
or they become self-aware that feminism has lied to them. They start taking self-accountability, which women, you know, for the most part, they don't want to take self-accountability because their ego is inflated, right? And they're essentially delusional towards the realities. And then they have to take the next step of unfollowing a bunch of these people that are not going to benefit them in their lives. They have to shift their focus and attention towards the things that they want. What do you think would be more applicable for a general amount of people?
If you delete Instagram, she's still gonna have the same ideologies, so she's still gonna run.
No,
with
like
that.
I said, she deletes Instagram. She listens to her father and learns from her mother.
But what if people
Three
who
simple
don't?
steps.
I don't have like my father to teach me shit, and I'm sure a lot of people don't.
Then you got
And a lot of people don't have good mothers.
But it's not a lot of people. Maybe there is.
I mean,
there is a lot of
only
people,
speak
but it's not the
from
most.
what
people.
I've
I don't
seen.
think
You know what
so.
I'm saying? That's what
All
I
right,
see.
yo, help us with this debate, brother. What do you think?
I think what's important at the end of the day is we need to have better influence overall, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, what if we were to figure out a way to keep these women on 25 and under on the platform, but start to transition a majority of the thoughts over to the right way of thinking, which is not anything against feminism, you know, the
But
opposite.
would that be restricting freedom of speech though?
I mean, I'm not saying in a way, I'm saying allowing more people to speak out on the other side. So for example, like with my content, I fucking will just say whatever the fuck is on my mind. So like a lot of the shit too, I say about feminism, like one of the reels I have, I'm like feminism bitches are typically ugly, they're fat, fucking green hair, pink hair, and all kinds of shit, which is it tends to be fucking true. But what's the important part is that we need to begin to introduce more of this other side of the conversation, the other side, the other polarity, people not being okay with feminism and speaking out and saying that the man should be a fucking man, not be a bitch, and the women should be women. We need to have more men that are masculine, and we need to have more women that are feminine. We need to fucking come back with a nuclear family, have the father figure, be the leader of the motherfucking family, not the fucking woman. The woman needs to be in submission to the man because the man's supposed to be the one who knows where to take the family the proper way. And we need to begin to have that side of the conversation open more. And I think the main issue right now is that the reason why we've gotten to the position that we're at today as society is because one side has been only the primary voice. Now, when people begin to speak out against that, either people are too much of bitches and they don't want to go against the grain and say how they actually truly feel and they agree with everybody else. Or number two, when people do speak out against the false ideologies, they get banned. You know, they get fucking restricted. So I think it's more. This is what I always fucking said: is that we need more fucking men in our generation of today, our generation, Gen Z, or whatever the fucking generation that we are, men from 20 to 30 years old. We need more fucking leaders in our generation to come out and say the shit the way it fucking is, because there's a lot of fucking female men out here, man. There's a bunch of fucking demasculated men, and we need more leaders to come out and speak how they fucking feel. And that's why with me, I take that into action by posting these different reels where I talk about that real shit, you know? Like I'll give you a quick example to that, and I'll tie it off there, is that like in this reel that I posted today, I'm talking about fucking pronouns. Like I go and I fucking meet this bitch on the street and we have a conversation. I go on her Instagram and I see she, they. And I'm like, God, fucking. And then she's showing all of her ass pics, tit pics, you know, all this cleavage. And I'm like, man, I don't want to fucking date this bitch. You know, sure, I'll hit it and I'll quit it. But I'm not going to fucking, I'm not taking her home to my fucking mom and my family. You know, she's not going to be the mother to my children. So I think that more women need to have that understanding that men also fucking think this way. So they don't think that this he, she, them, they, LGBT plus, queer, whatever the fuck, you know, that you don't always have to go with the fucking agenda and to utilize your fucking critical thinking at the end of the day. So I think really the main issue at the end of the day is we need to have more people be able to critically think, and we need to introduce both sides of the arguments.
And here's the thing is that men, we're notoriously known for critically thinking, all right? Try to give a girl that has IG the ability to critically think, she's going to reject it. Why? Why am I going to believe the bullshit that these red pill guys are saying? Why? I got a bunch of thirsty dudes that I could get at any moment. I've got all the power. I can make quick money on OnlyFans. Why the fuck am I going to listen to y'all? This shit is easy. TikTok, we got short attention spans. We want what's fast. We want what's easy and what's cheap, bro. All right? I don't want to think about 20, 50 years down the line. I'll figure that out then, and then I'll be miserable. But you know what? Right now, if I'm a female, I'm going to be on IG. I'm going to get my bag through OnlyFans, and I don't got to worry about being a mother, because guess what? I'm just going to be a mother someday, and some guy's just going to accept me for how I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Is like us speaking out, critically thinking, like, and pushing this red pill ideology is not going to change women. It's going to help us. It's going to benefit us. It's going to benefit other men. But guess what? If a woman deletes her IG, right? She doesn't have access to all this immediate gratification. She can delay her gratification. She can listen to her father and learn from her mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that's the simplest way, and that's why I'll debate it to the end, because I put a lot of thought into that.
I would argue though that this red pill talk does help them, because Why do you think?
Do you think they sit around and listen?
I do, and here's why. Because I seen new accounts, beautiful women too. Like he said,
Yes,
it's
yes,
usually
yes.
like the beautiful women that understand this side of
Red
the
pill
conversa-
women.
Yeah,
Red pill women, yes.
and talking about they do like reactions to Andrew Tate videos.
Mhm. And I think that's great. I think that's a great
And
start.
and then
That's a
the
great start.
comments is a bunch of mad women, but there's some understanding, and it starts like that. And like you said, we just need better influences. And so I don't think so. It's like, what's the point of all this? Obviously, the men are gonna get more aware and they're gonna speak out, but also women are like, okay, like if I look up to this guy and I respect him, then why not listen to his ideas?
But like I said, the problem with that is that their egos are inflated. So how do you deflate the ego is take away their Instagram. Like they have to willingly take away their Instagram, right? They're gonna deflate their ego, and then they're gonna be more susceptible.
I feel like
towards
that's
listening to the women that you're talking about.
Way less practical than just teaching them or influencing.
I mean,
them.
I can see your point. I definitely can see your point, but
Mm-hmm.
that if we were to say that that's completely true, that means that people before Instagram ever existed or social media ever existed, women weren't going for what they're going for today, which is looking for admiration or seeking for attention from a bunch of guys. Before social media was ever invented, bitches were still like that too.
But it was
probably to a less
harder.
degree.
It's easier now. It was way harder
Yeah,
back
100%
then, but it's
easier
easier
now.
now. So that's why it's a more of a problem now because it's so much easily available to them. Sorry, real quick. The proof that there is go watch a Fresh and Fit. Just watch one full podcast. These guys have interviewed 1,500 women, right? They're there teaching women what men want, and they still refuse to listen and believe it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like that, like talking about it, helping them critically think is much harder than just
But they
them
plan-
taking away their Instagram.
But they plan to deceive, and that's what's important, I would say.
I think that's great. But what I'm saying is that the true change would come if a woman just deletes her Instagram. I think that's the first
and
real step
I
towards
can see your
changing
point.
everything.
I can see your point. And I can respect that too. Another thing that we have to take into consideration with the Fresh and Fit podcast, bro, is that that's like me going to LA and pulling a bitch off the street. You know,
I know
or
what
me
you're saying.
going to Miami and pulling a bitch off the street. These bitches are out here. These are city bitches, man. These bitches are going out to the club and taking pictures with bottles and all that shit. It's not like we're going to the middle of Texas to a church, a church town, and pulling a girl off the street and interviewing her too. So we also have to take into consideration where the pool of these women are getting pulled from, and odds are they're typically going to be from Miami or some kind of city thing too.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You're right. Typically they are, but they do interview women and they take these statistics down for every woman that comes in, where they're from, their educational background, and these are women that are from Miami or from Texas, like you're saying, with bachelor degrees, saying the same shit, having the same OnlyFans account as the girls in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Women fly out to be on the show. Like they have a large demographic of different women. You're right. Most of it is going to be from Miami. Of course it is, right? But that argument has been debunked because of how much work they've been putting into their podcast and how much you can literally watch in real time as these women do not want to swallow the truth. They don't want to swallow the red pill. They're holding on for dear life. You know what I'm saying? And I think the first step would be, hey, delete your Instagram, shorty. You want to have a baby? You want to be a good mother? Delete your Instagram, baby. Like that's it.
I think, what I can say about that too, at the end of the day, is that we are both in agreement. We see eye to eye we pretty much are shoulder to shoulder on this too. I just think maybe the way that we go about it. I mean, if we were to take, let's just run that hypothetical. We convince all these women off of 25 and under to delete their Instagram. Yes, I think that would be good.
Facts.
However, I don't think that's going to be the answer to actually solving the main issue. Because
No. Like I said, my second part to that was, if you have a good family, listen to your father, learn from your mother. If you don't have a good family, it would be, okay, cool. Now that you've deflated your ego and you're more susceptible towards listening, then maybe, like he said, shift your focus towards these red pill women. These red pill women are giving you the answers. They're giving you the gold nuggets that you want, right?
Yeah.
And then it's also like networking. It's like network with women, like make friends with women that are mothers that are actively truly inspired by their femininity. You know what I'm saying? Stop surrounding yourself with masculine ass girls that are going out clubbing and partying every day. Because you're gonna lose the guy that you have if you keep doing that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And what I can say too is